Elsbeth, how did you find carnivore?
Oh, about 2 years ago. However, first, about 4.5 years ago, I was very, very grossly overweight with lots and lots of issues. I had my blood pressure was up to 180 over 90, and the doctor wanted to put me in blood pressure tablets, which he did, but they didn't agree with me, and so I didn't take them. And I work in the hospitality industry, so after work we would always have a few drinks, and we had lunch in the staff canteens in our big hotels. And what do you do? It's always carb loaded lunch, and I just ballooned to over 165 kilos. And I knew in the back of my head, I have to lose weight, I have to lose weight. And so it just was the beginning of COVID. I thought I heard all this, oh yeah, overweight people will have a harder time if they catch this COVID bug. And I thought, that's it. We're in lockdown. I'm going to go keto. It worked for me before. I will do it again. So I went on the ketogenic diet and I started losing weight. However, because all these years and years of me being overweight, like I'm now 67, so it's been, 30 years of overweight, took a big toll. So I had osteoarthritis, high blood pressure, stomach issues, asthma, you name it, I had it. And I, even keto wouldn't take it away. It was still lingering around. Healing doesn't take overnight. So I just knew I was only mainly focused on losing weight, nothing else. I learned a little bit more. I was doing pretty clean keto, 15 grams of carbohydrates a day, trying to stay in that ketosis. I learned about ketosis. It did help me with my pain in my knees, but not all the way through. So 2 years in, I lost about 45 kilograms on keto itself. And I was just, as I learned to see my food better, I realized tomatoes and aubergine eggplants were really not good for me. Like the next day, I would have a flare up in my knees and my hip. And so I decided to cut that out. And um, but I was eating way, way, way too much spinach, and it wasn't until later, end of those first 2 years on keto, when I learned through accident about oxalates. A good friend of mine, she's a nutritionist, and she said, "Oh, we need to learn more about this oxalate thing. I think you're eating too much of them." 2 years in, 45 kilos down, I still had a lot of issues with my osteoarthritis. My stomach was never right. I was eating too many almonds and too much spinach. And it's just every time I ate that, especially the almonds, and I love almonds, I had stomach problems. And I realized it was when I ate spinach and when I ate almonds. So my nutritionist and I, we delved a little bit further into this food type. And then we realized we worked it out, it was oxalates. And because she was reading something about Sally Norton, she passed the book on to me. I started reading it and I thought, oh, yeah, no wonder I was eating like 60 to 90 pieces of almonds a day, the biggest bag of oxalates, what do you call it, spinach I had for lunch with all the other bits and pieces in it, and only a little bit of protein. And no wonder I was not healing. So, just for a laugh, I said to her, now I cut out tomatoes, I cut out eggplants, I cut out spinach, I cut out so many things. I might as well just eat meat. And she goes, oh, why don't you try that? And I said, well, just meat. I didn't hear off the carnivore diet at all by then. So I Googled it, and she Googled it and said, oh, that's called carnivore diet. And so I searched a little bit more into it, and I thought, yeah, I mean, it's just keto. I just drop the vegetables. And so 1st of May, 2 years ago, so it's not quite 2 years yet, 22 months, I decided that's it. I'm going strict carnivore. And I got onto Instagram, I typed it in, I found Dr. Chafee, Bella, steak and butter girl, Ken Berry, Sean Baker, etc., Kelly Hogan, and I started with carnivore, and I straight away lost the weight, kept dropping off, and it was amazing. I never felt hungry. Suddenly, my blood pressure was still up when I switched over, so it was still around 150 over, but 80. I still had stomach issues when I swapped over. And as I swapped, within about a month, I went to the next level energy. I was really good before too with keto, but I went, I don't know, next level. You can't explain it. It just light bulbs went off in my head, and I felt never had to have an afternoon nap anymore. The blood pressure suddenly gone down to 130 over 75 or 70. It's dropped. I was, every time I took it, I had because I was on so high, I had my own blood pressure thing. And I was like, yes, yes, my blood pressure is going down. And the kilos were coming off slowly. It was slower with the kilos by then. But all up, with carnivore, I lost now 80 kilos, all up keto and carnivore together. And since COVID started, 2020,
So that
yeah.
means you're down to about 80 kilos now.
Yes, 85, 83 at the moment. Yeah. It wasn't easy at first, but trying to get all the meat together. I lived on a small island off the Queensland coast, Hamilton Island, and we had only a small supermarket, so I didn't always have the good ribeyes or T-bone steaks. So, but I found a good butcher on the mainland, and he used to send me a big box once a fortnight, and I started off that way. Um, and because I was keto before, for me it was just eat more meat, cut out the veggies, and off you go. But I had to learn to implement more butter and more fat. So I got to a bit of a stall, maybe uh, 8 months ago. Suddenly, no more weight loss. I know it was 80 kilos. It just wouldn't lose. I just wouldn't lose. But I've also got lipedema in my hips and legs. And lipedema is a fat tissue disorder. There's no cure yet, unfortunately, but ketogenic and carnivore helps it a great deal. I used to have lots and lots and lots of pain and lots of bruising straight away. If I hit my leg or my hip, I would bruise straight away. Since I've gone carnivore, no more bruising and no painful legs. I mean, there's still not, it's still lipedema there, but at least I don't have that pain, which is amazing. It's helped so much. So I knew I had to keep the ketosis up. I read more about it, and I knew I had to increase the fat intake a little bit, and just to stay. And I would take measurements because I wanted to see that for my pain level, for my osteoarthritis and the lipedema, that I would hold 2.5 on the ketones, and I managed. One thing I forgot, I was also very pre-diabetic before I went on to keto. My markers were, what was it, 8.9 and 7. It was always high. And now they're 4.6, 4.8. Very seldom I go over the 5 point nowadays. So I'm doing
Sorry,
pretty
that's
good.
your A1C?
Yes. A1C is average 4.6,
Mhm.
4.3. So I managed to hold that all the time now, which is, I'm very happy with that. Yeah, so, you know, it takes a toll when you're overweight for so many, many years. It takes a toll on your body. And I did join Dr. Chaffee's group, and I did ask him once. He said, "Oh, when is that osteo going away?" And he goes, "Elsbeth, you damaged so many years, it's not going to go away overnight," which is true, So I did have a hip operation last year in November. I still have to probably do my knees, but at the moment they're holding up pretty well. So I'm putting it out. If I don't have to do it, I won't do it. However, my hip operation stirred up the lipedema, so it took me longer. I'm still actually in recovery. Um, I, it's not overnight, but what happened with me in carnivore, my asthma gone. It's all clear. My lungs, when I was in hospital, the doctor checked everything. He cleared. He says, "Oh, you don't have asthma. I can't see anything." They took X-rays and scans and whatever. So very good. My gut healed itself. No more leaky gut. What else? The blood pressure down to normal. My blood sugar back to normal. No more pre-diabetic. All the inflammation marks, very good. They did a lot while I was in hospital. I asked them to check and everything, and I wanted to see. And the doctor said, the specialist said, "You're you're 45, except your joints. They need a lot of oil, in your old age." So yeah, so and I know it's true. It's my osteoarthritis. I also, last year I had the flu, and I managed to attract a virus. It was a bad virus. It was in August, and overnight I got numb, no sensation in my hands and fingertips, so neuropathy. And after all this healing, to have this setback, it's been hard the last few months. However, it's getting now better too. I do weights with my arms every day. I try to stay strictly meat, water, a little bit of salt. Very, maybe only once a week, I have a little bit of dairy. Not much, a little bit. I love cheese, but I know it's not good for me. So I keep it to once a week. So it's mainly, basically what I eat is eggs and mince and some steaks. I keep it low. I'm on a pension now. I've retired. So of course you can't go, ribeyes every day. You have to keep it low. I just moved from North Queensland to Brisbane. So I got a good butcher now, Butcher Crowd, I think it is. I order my meat from. They're really, really good. And so I work it out, and I can, certainly have a few steaks in. My brother is a butcher, so he always tells me which ones are the cheap cuts and to get, and that helps as well. And so it's simply straightforward eating. And like, my message is for people out there who are overweight: don't wait, don't wait. You know, start with maybe keto, listen to, all your videos. There's so much out there. There's so many people it helped. I was late. For me, it was in my 60s when the light bulb went off. but it's never too late. It's never ever too late to start. Like, I was nearly wheelchair bound before I started, and I went then on to crutches. And only 2 years ago, after I got so sick, I um, my osteo got bad, and I went back to wheelchair and crutches and walkies, my little rollator. But now I'm back to walking stick again. And I know, I have to recover. And the only way I do it is I feel the best when I'm in good ketosis, when I eat enough fats, good meats, water, a little bit of salt for my electrolytes, and I eat twice a day. I eat maybe 3 days a week. I do once a day, OMAD, and the rest of the week twice a day. I do circadian rhythm. I learned all about that. So I get up early in the morning, try to get some sunshine in, try to eat before 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I fast. I do it's not intentionally. I finish eating at 2ish, 2:30, and I don't eat until the next morning again after my breakfast. I'm not very tall, so even on carnivore, I would overeat, and I think that's why I came to stall. I would, eat 130 grams or 140 grams of protein a day, and I wondered why my weight went up. I started put on weight, and so I listened to a lot of Kelly Hogan's videos on YouTube, and I thought, oh, I might join her group for a month and see what's it all about, and which was amazing actually. So I did learn that I did overeat, and for my height, I'm only 5 foot, so 150 centimeter, and so it's only little. So according to all those experts out there, I should only have about, for my good weight, I should only have about 110, 120 grams of protein. But because of losing weight, I had to then work that out too. So she helped me with that special calculator she has, and worked out exactly how many calories I should have a day. I know we're not talking calories on carnivore, but as I was overeating, I needed to know where to stop. What's that feeling? And we worked it out that I'm on about 1,700 calories a day, and that's when I actually felt full. So, that's now I'm full. Yes, that's what it feels like. And so I stayed on that maintenance thing for a while, and then just slowly we took a couple of hundred calories off, and then bang, my stall was over and I started to lose weight again. Uh,
Oh,
so
fantastic.
yeah, so now I know when I'm full, which, because over so many years I was overeating, even if it was a good thing on keto, even if it was, you know, whatever, my stomach didn't know, or I didn't know when I was full. I was just an overeater. And so that helped me a great deal to work it out. Now I don't have to, I know now what I eat, I know now how much I feel full. I can now practically go intuitive and work it out. Sometimes I track a little bit just in case I'm over, if it's different meats, or I like a little bit of game like venison, kangaroo, so I have to add butter with it because they're very lean meats. But so then I track a little bit, and it works every time. It works, that fullness, and it's important to learn from the different groups and people, and you put it together, because not everybody's built the same way. But I see how Dr. Chafee, how he's teaching us with eat until you fall, and then that's it. Once I learned my fullness, there's no problem. No problem whatsoever.
Right.
Yeah.
So, um, I've got a couple of questions. That nutritionist was seems like, they were pretty good. Like, not many nutritionists would go, "You know what? Why don't you just try and eat meat?" Most nutritionists would go, "You need to eat the rainbow. It needs to be balanced."
I know. Well, she was a keto coach. That's how I found her. And but she's more into fitness and CrossFit and all these things. So she eats carbs and all that. But she knew for me, keto was the main thing, and she knew enough that the higher my carbs went, it was not for me. My body is not made out for carbs. I just know that. And a carb looks at me, and that's it. I put on weight, so I have to stay off the carbs. And but everybody always, and I mean that's another thing, always says, but you have to have fiber. And and I thought, oh yeah, what about going toilet? No problem whatsoever. No problem whatsoever. And even, last year I was nearly a month in hospital with those operations I had to have in my hip. And I was as good as gold. And the nurses were surprised because even there in the hospital, I was lucky. The head chef in the kitchen, she was ketogenic and she knew I was doing carnivore. I told her. And she always made sure I had enough meat. And I ordered, of course, the meat in the hospital is as lean as anything. So I always ask for about 5, 6 little butter cubes. They gave you those little butters, which is hardly anything. And she would put a handful on it. She always made sure I got enough butter there. And that kept me going. Of course, I had to have a little bit of help from outside, being hospital food too. So I got a good protein shake with the least thing in it, and a bit of a yogurt as well because they put me on antibiotics. So I used to make protein yogurts up just to fill it up and to get that protein going. Because one thing when you're not well, I had a little infection in my leg last week or 2 week before. So it's important to eat more, like how should I say, eat more. I went, instead of being on a little bit less on my calorie intake, I went back to my 1,700 calories a day and a little bit plus because I needed to fuel the body with the good proteins and nutrition so I could heal because I had to take some antibiotics. And and I think, and it's helped a great deal. I healed much quicker, so now I can cut that back out again. But so we have to, a lot of things is learning from your side, from all your interviews. You're doing, different people have different issues. You always learn something. All our wonderful, uh, amazing doctors out there, Dr. Chafee, Dr. John Baker, Dr. Hemberry, and you learn all the time. And if you implement some of those things and you try it out and you feel, oh yeah, that's good for me, that's not so good for me. But I've not, in those 22 months, I have never had any vegetables. I haven't had anything like that at all. No fruit, no honey, nothing. Just strictly carnivore. I don't crave. Where before alcohol was an issue, especially after work, a big social, you know, after work we all would be sitting together, and but suddenly there was. I don't have to worry about it. I never. Uh, I have my soda water, my mineral water, and I don't crave it at all. Cheese is another factor. I have to. I'm originally from Switzerland, so I love my cheese, and I could eat it every day. But I know I leave it to, if I go to a party, I have the cheese platter, nibble on there, maybe a bit too much. Or on the weekend sometimes, put a bit of cheese on my burger. But I try to keep it to one day a week or a couple of days a week because I know it stalls my uh, weight loss. I still need a couple of more, 20 more kilos to go. And, so I want to get there because it's for my health, it's for my knees, it's for my hips, it's for my lipedema. I
So,
have to do
but
it.
I mean, just to underscore though, since you started this journey going through keto into carnivore, you've lost half your weight.
Yes.
So, I mean, I think that's important to underscore, right? It's like that's a massive amount of weight loss.
And I did it without practical exercise. The only exercise I had a mini trampoline, and I would go on there 2, 3 minutes every morning. I couldn't do more with my hips and knees. They were too sore. Even trying to get up that 10 centimeter onto the trampoline was hard. I got little weights, 1, 2, 3 kilo different dumbbells, and I would do my exercise with my arms. I do chair squats. I can't do anything else at the moment, but I do now. I'm back up to about 45 a day. After every meal, I would do 15 to 20 of them to keep those legs strong because when you suddenly have issues with your legs and knees and you have to go to the toilet and you can't get up off your toilet seat, well, that's not good and you need help. You need to get those leg squats in, chair squats in. And there's so many videos out there now for senior people to do chair exercise, chair yoga. And I used to never even heard of it. And now I find it on YouTube and I put it on and try to do my exercise to it, just what I can. And it's not major exercise like other people, but it helps me and it keeps me going. And that's the least I done. Yes, I got a bit of flab around, but at the moment I don't need to, operate those things. It's okay.
Right.
Because I
S-
think because of my constant weight exercise, my flabby arms are not so bad yet. So I keep that going. Yeah.
So what has been the reaction of your doctor to all this? Like you reverse pre-diabetes, you've lost half your weight, all these changes, the pains are going away. Like is your doctor like amazed?
Yes. Well, on the island, we had different doctors every 6 months. So, and I never went much, but when I had to go, they were always amazed. And they said, oh, one would say, oh, you need to lose weight. I said, listen, I'm already 45 kilos down. Have a look on your computer. And then he looked it up and he goes, oh, yeah. And I said, but you can take my blood pressure and see how it is. And then he goes, oh, it's really good. And when I had blood works done, they were astonished. Yeah, my LDL went a little bit up, but as Dr. Chaffee said, don't worry about it. Everything all the rest of the markers were good. I was happy with all that. So on the doctor, they were pleased. He was pleased. Now I just came from there down to Brisbane and had to have a new doctor. And so because I still have a little bit to lose, 20 kilos, he said, oh, maybe you need to go and diet. I said, don't worry, that's under control. I'm ketogenic. I didn't want to scare him first with straight carnivore. I'm ketogenic. I'm all good. And he goes, oh, yeah, but what about your blood pressure? And what about this? And I said, all right, take my blood pressure. Maybe you're diabetic. That's why you got a scar on your leg, or your leg is open. That, like I cut my leg a little bit. It was inflamed. That's why I had to go. I said, no, I'm not diabetic. It's all good. So he checked it all out. And, oh, yeah, you're good. You're good. It's what kind of diabetes, what kind of diet you're on? And I said, I'm just doing carnivore. I'm doing that for a while. I lost 80 kilos. You can check it all out with my other doctor in North Queensland. And he goes, oh, well, if it helps, keep going. And that's it. So he didn't say, oh, you're doing the wrong thing or right thing. He was pleased. Yeah, so it's a lot of people, they still say, especially close friends, they still say, oh, you're crazy, you're going to have cancer, you're going to have this. And, so I said, yeah, 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 no worries. I just keep going. I feel good. And if I feel good, then you will feel good. If I feel bad and in pain, you will hear it too. Then you'll know I'm doing the wrong thing. And my why was, it's one of the most important thing is your mental awareness. Is when I think 4 years ago, nearly 5 years now, when COVID started, and I said I need to lose weight, I don't want that. And then it was when suddenly I wasn't aching in so much pain anymore. That became my why. Why should I eat tomatoes when next day I'm hurting? Why should I eat almonds and my stomach is turning around because it's poisoning me? And spinach and all those high oxalate foods were poisoning my stomach. Why, especially why pizza, go out for pizza, fast food, when the next day I can't move? Is it worth it? No, it's not worth it. So I just had a steak instead, or a burger, or I ate before I went out. Now, which is funny, people say, oh, what are you going to eat? You got this cyclone coming to Brisbane. Everybody's panic buying. And I said, well, I got a cupboard full of sardines. I can do a sardine fast. I can do fasting for 2, 3 days if there's no power. I can got plenty of water, filtered water as well. Filled all that up, so I'm fine. No problems. I'll fry up today some meat patties and get them going. So I'm not worried at all. I've got beef turkey, dehydrated meat, so I'm ready to go, and I didn't have to panic buy and everything like other people do. Yeah.
So there's a cyclone on the way towards Brisbane now.
Yes, yes. It's supposed to start hitting tomorrow night. Yeah, it's a category 2.
Wow.
So there, and because Brisbane, I come from North Queensland, so I'm used to uh,
Ah.
type 3. And I went through a type 4, nearly a type 5 a few years back. So a type 2 is not so bad. But if you don't know, it's still, a lot of rain, and the power probably goes off at some point, or hopefully not. And yeah, so, you have to prepare yourself a little bit. And so, yeah, so I'm prepped with my, so either a sardine fast or a water fast, or I'll be fine. So yeah, so
It's
that's another advantage. Yeah.
it's really interesting, when everyone's panicking about if they can get enough food, and you can be in this situation where you can just think, well, if I have to fast, I have to fast. It's okay.
Yep. Yeah. And this is another thing. Like, we overcomplicate things with fasting. And I think I took a leaf out of Dr. Chaffee's book there when he said, eat when you're hungry and don't eat when you're not hungry. And I do that with my uh, one day, you know, eating 20 once every 24-hour OMAD. I don't say, oh, I'm going to do OMAD tomorrow. If I feel like it, I'll do it. If I still feel full, I don't eat until I need it again, and it turns into a one meal a day. The next day I might feel a bit nibbly. Oh yeah, oh no, I'll have half of it in breakfast time, and then I'll have the other half at 2 o'clock, and then I have 2 meals a day, and I'm full. And so it's sometimes it's like this. And I think it was also when I had that little bit of inflammation, I thought, oh, I need to get good. I need to look after my body. I need to put the nutrition up. I have to make sure I get all my nutrients in. So I look at food now, where me for so many years in the hospitality trade, I had to go out. I had to have dinners out. I had to, I was in housekeeping side, but food and beverage is always there. So you used to fine dining and you're used to all this food. And so for me, food was always entertainment. Now, food has turned into just nutrition. And I know in my heart that I will overcome my neuropathy. I will still uh, look into this lipedema. I'm sure that will go even better the more I get into it. I'm sure my osteo will, which again, I so many other people have osteoarthritis. I have it too, but and it's bad, it's advanced. The doctor said so in my neck and in my knees, but I don't have the pain with it unless I'm not in a good ketosis. If I had too much milky products, maybe some cream. Once in a while, I have that ice cream, Dr. Kill's ice cream. Uh, but so if I have too much dairy, I then get a bit of pain the next day. And but if I don't, I'm good. I don't have that extra pain from the osteoarthritis. And that's helping so much when you're not in pain anymore. And yeah, now I've gone from my little rollator back to crutches, back to walking stick. And I also just ordered a treadmill because where I'm living now is a bit hilly and I can't go so much walk. So as soon as my treadmill comes and gets installed, I'll be getting my walks in and getting stronger in my legs, and I'm fighting. I'm gonna get through that. I'm gonna give those sticks away again. That's my goal. Yeah.
Nice. So, Elsbeth, if people want to reach out to you, do you have any way of getting in contact? Any social media or other ways?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, Elsbeth in Ketosis. I'm also on Facebook. I sometimes not as much, but I just opened up another group, 60 plus health and weight loss. And we only just started that with Jeff, from who is not far away from here. I think you know Jeff, and we try to work together to get more over 60s. It doesn't matter even if younger people come in to learn more about health and wellness, and that it's never too late, to turn around. Um, so yeah, Facebook and Instagram. I'm I, I'm not much. I'm not too good at always live talking, so I haven't gone into YouTube. It's enough on Instagram and Facebook for me here. So by all means, contact me. I'm happy to help anybody. Happy to help them with little, work out what kind of food to eat. Because on a pension too, it's important that you have enough. uh, that's hold on, I should go back. A lot of people, they say it's expensive. Is carnivore expensive? It doesn't have to be. So if you do like game, like kangaroo, that's mince is much cheaper than our normal mince. You can mix it up. You can mix up different type of mince meat, and then you have more nutrition again. You There's good. farm to table, butcher crowd. There's so many good boxes you can get now delivered, which comes to, for me, it comes to about, just for all the meat, $85 a week, Australian dollars. And that's not bad. That's $170 a box of meat, which lasts me a fortnight. And okay, on that, I put a little bit of eggs if I can get them at the moment. Eggs are scarce, and butter. And I got my filter water, which I have a filter on my tap, and that's it. And a bit of salt, and the salt lasts for a long time too. So it's not costing me more. It's actually costing me less because I don't have all this other stuff on the shelf in my pantry. I don't have to have all these extra spices and extra sauces, and that's gone. I don't need that. So I save a lot on those things, and I can help. I can help. We can work something out. I'm working with another guy, Geordie. He brought out a new um, 2 week what to eat little booklet, and I've been looking at prices uh, from the different supermarkets and the different boxes, and trying to make it a little bit pension friendly, and which is important. And yeah, so people who are on a pension can afford it a bit more. So, and that's good because we need to be healthy. We need to get our protein in to stay strong in our old age. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, well, I'll link to your Instagram, your Facebook, and the Facebook group in the show notes. Um, Elspeth, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story with us. I really appreciate your time and take care during the cyclone.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dave. No worries.